Alright, what's up FC fam? Welcome back to yet another tutorial. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and do so, as it does help this channel, and you know, it just makes me feel good too, so please go ahead and do so.
So y'all wanna know how to double y'all's money as a barber?
Haircut looks good, but you're sending your client home with no product.
We're barbers looking out for barbers. Now imagine making a few extra $100 a week, but not from doing more haircuts, simply just styling your clients with a high quality product.
For all you barbers, we're officially offering our matte clay at wholesale, where you're gonna be able to double your money. So if you're ready, head over to fadedculture.com.
I brought a little bit extra.
Write this down, Ruben, because this is a serious prescription. Listen up, hurry.
Okay.
You're gonna take one for the next 63 days. Hurry, take one of these. It's gonna be one in the AM, one in the PM. Make sure you take the one in the AM, because this is not gonna work if you don't take the one in the AM. 63 days.
One in the AM,
63 days straight.
one in the PM.
Yes, 1 AM, 1 PM.
Gotcha.
I hope you don't mind, guys, that this video is sponsored by Faded Culture. You got to remember, guys, this whole brand is built by barbers for barbers. We specifically positioned our product to where you can easily double your money on the investment. So head over to fadedculture.com and get all the details. We're gonna start this taper fade by setting the perimeter, and I like to start with the fringe. You always want to ask your client, where do you like the fringe to sit, and make sure as you're consulting about the fringe that it is dry, or it has the product, or it's styled the way they normally wear it, so that way we know exactly where it needs to sit. Here you can also see that I did a delta, but I also grabbed about 1 inch from the side and I moved it to the front. I like to save this to adjust at the very end if needed. And here I'm gonna go around and just set in my guide for the length that's gonna be on the sides. She just wanted a little trim, so there I went ahead and set in my guide. And now I'm just gonna grab diagonal sections and using that guide to match it too. It's a super simple, easy process. We do stress on kinetics. So if you want to learn more about kinetics, hit the description and you're gonna see a link about our mentorship that's hosted on School. You will be able to learn a lot about our kinetics and how we achieve consistent results with shears. And we also have a free PDF down below in the description if you want to check that out. It's mainly with the fade. It's mainly about the fade steps, but it's still going to help you. Again, it's just a free PDF to follow along with the actual fades, get you understanding our foundation of fades and how we approach every single fade. But yeah, this shear process is super simple. Set in your guide and then use diagonal sections to match that guide. You want to remember that every single section is about a comb's width. One of the kinetics is tension. Make sure that those fingers are squeezing the hell out of that hair. And you do want to have a little bit of tension as you pull out from the scalp as well. Not too much tension. Last thing you want is the client to get up and then smack you because you're just yanking the hell out of their hair. And here I split the top from the middle, worked it to the sides, and then I connected it to that initial foundation line that I created on the sides, and that's gonna help me connect the top to the sides. From there, I'm left with just the center. I matched the center to what was cut on the sides. I added just a tiny bit of our matte clay as a pre-style. Just because this haircut's like so specific to shape that I want to put in the fade according to that shape. Last thing I want to do is if I were to cut it and the hair's just laying down, I would probably cut way too much off the sides, especially when it comes to clipper over comb. So now that I pre-styled it, I know exactly how it's going to sit. I can just come in and set in my fade very easy. My first guideline was with lever open, and we're just going to continue the process. You're going to notice that on this side, I'm going to use my normal process, which is the lever stays open. The only thing that changes is my guards as we set up. So I went from 1 guard, 1.5 guard, and then finally my 2 guard. here you should have 2 guidelines left. That top one I'm gonna work with my half guard and my 1 guard at a 3/4 position. So here I'm done with my half guard, slapping on that 1 guard, continuing the process. And finally, for that initial guide, you're gonna use a 3-step process. Having my lever close, then it's gonna go 3/4 and then fully open. And the only way you're gonna be able to remove that initial guide is if your clippers are 0 gap, especially if you're setting your initial guide with the trimmer the way I did. Notice how I'm using mainly the corners of the clipper. As we get higher into that fade, remove the bottom hair. And again, still using my corners just to help the blend a little bit. And then finally just coming in with my shaver. So now guys, for the rest of the fade, the back and the other side, I'm gonna show you a different process. And I think this process is what attracts a lot of the beginner barbers. And I wanted to show you how I would go about it. A lot of beginner barbers just wanna fade up. They think it's easier because you don't have to worry about guidelines. And it can be. I'm not saying that there's one way to cut hair, but I'm saying the system that we built is so you can debulk in a systematic way. So here I started with the lever fully open, then I go halfway and clean up under it. Now I'm gonna go with the 1 guard, lever fully open, but you're gonna notice there's gonna be some similarities to the process. So I'm still spreading my guideline here about a finger's width, the same that I would have done with my original process. And that's the important part. And then the important part, as I'm removing that line, now I'm using mainly just the corners, which is the exact same thing that I did in my last process. So the fundamentals stay the same. It's just the setup process is now different. So I did lever open, then I closed it, and then I slapped on my half guard at 3/4 and then closed. I remember just when I started cutting hair though, and I used to do this process, I would end up taking the fades a lot higher than I originally wanted. These taper fades would turn into Southside fades. And if you don't know what a Southside fade is, go ahead and Google it. Here I got my 2 guard. This just goes to show you that in the beginning, just stick to one process, the one that makes the most sense to you. Rep it out a bajillion times and then worry about changing the process. You're gonna see that a lot of times it's not so much the process that makes you a better barber, it's the kinetics that make you the better barber. It's like you got to understand the rules so you can break them. And the rules are the kinetics. So here I achieved the back taper fade, just fading up. I'm gonna go ahead and do it on the other side as well. She previously did have a design. You can see some kind of like curves right there in the back of the taper, especially on this side. So here I'm starting the taper with lining up everything, my perimeter first. Just so I can see exactly where that taper is gonna sit. Setting in my first guideline with the trimmer, starting with the lever open. And then again, using my 3-step process. Now halfway, then fully closed. Notice I still have to use the trimmer a little bit. Now one guard lever fully open. Go ahead and close it. Just remember to stay under the initial guide. Now I got my half guard at 3/4. Then fully closed. Yeah, so there you pretty much have it. I tapered in 2 different ways. If you like one over the other, please let me know down in the comments. I wouldn't mind doing more tutorials if you prefer the fading up way. And here I'm just freehanding any frizz, freehanding the shape. But notice how I'm anchoring my hand with my middle finger. Now I'm gonna come in and actually style the hair more, adding a little bit of water, getting our matte clay. You only need about a dime size of this stuff. Work it all the way down to the root again. Adding a little bit of enhancements. How do y'all feel about enhancements? I would like to know down in the comments too. I know some people are super against them and some people are super for them, to the point where they're damn near using a paint roller on their client. But there you guys have it. Here's the before and here's the after of this heavily textured blowout. Hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. I hope y'all took something new. As always, guys, please like and subscribe and let us know down in the comments what you would like to see next on this channel. My name is Adrian Barron, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.